Okay, so you have the old single foot switch KVASIR, and you'd like to turn it into one of the KVASIR Plus pedals with the feedback switch. So let's do this. Now, I haven't decided if I should make a kit that you could buy in my web shop, or if I'll just send you a PDF somehow with the instructions on how to order the parts that you need. But in any case, this is the video showing the step-by-step process of how to do it. So you want to flip it over. I've undone 3 of the screws, so you don't have to look at me unscrewing all 4 of them. But yeah, inside you'll be greeted by the KVASIR PCB. Now, yours might look a bit different depending on the age, but that's that. So with the back plate off to the side, you won't scratch that if you worry about that type of stuff. You need flathead screwdrivers, tiny ones made for like electronics and stuff like that. Just, you know, undo the knobs like this, which takes us to the nuts holding down the control plate. You want to undo these. What I like to do is I just undo them until they've come fully loose off of the threads, and then I'll just lift off the whole assembly of the control plate with the nuts, put it down so I can just slide it back on afterwards. You want to pick up the pedal, undo the jack nuts like this. These come off quite easily, and then you want to pull out the foot switch socket, and it goes straight off. Now the socket itself might come loose, which is no big deal. You just slide it back in. Either way works fine. Now, if you want to, no, you have to, I'm sorry. You have to undo the foot switch like this, pop it out, and now the whole assembly comes out. If it doesn't, it's because the jacks are stuck inside of the channels on the front. What you do is you just put your screwdriver in, or a jack, and just sort of pop them so that they go, there you go, past the channel, and the whole assembly comes out. Now, as you can tell, this area is sanded down. I just use a side cutter and just like scrape off the paint usually. So we'll have to do that for, yeah, you have to get this. So this has all the right holes in all the right places, and you still need to do this to get the chassis ground working properly. So you can use anything. You could use nail polish remover on a little cotton pad if you wanted to, and just wipe it down, but there's a pretty big chance you're going to mess up the finish on the rest of the pedal. But you know, sandpaper, whatever, just make sure you have around, especially around the right hand side, looking on the inside, you have bare metal exposed, because this is how we ground the PCB on this lug. There's a little wire coming off it. This goes back in the new enclosure. I like to sort of partly secure it with these jack nuts. So there we go. Now I take the control panel with the nuts, place it back on top, tighten these. This is difficult to do behind the camera, I have to tell you. And there we go. So it's up to you. If you want to have the feedback switch on the right hand side, that's how I've done it. But you could, you could do whatever you want. And hey, pro tip, you can always change those on your Bifrost or on your Freya. No, I mean Frey or Odin. If you want to switch them up, you don't even have to do any soldering. You just open it up and undo the foot switches, and off you go. So next up here now is dealing with the foot switch. So you need one of these SPST, momentary, normally open. Okay, so that means that when it's not clicked, these two are not connected. As you click it, these two are now connected. That's all it is. It's quite simple. So I like to take the bottom nut and screw it all the way down, and then give it like a 90-degree turn to make sure that you don't put too much pressure on the housing. And we stick this in so that it sits on the right hand side. Just, I mean, this is up to you, but this is how I'll do it. And we secure this guy. And that's secure. Okay, so there's that. Now I like to take a roll of tape and stick it on top of here so it sits flat while I'm doing this. And we need some wire. I like this, I think it's a 22 gauge wire, and it's a solid core. So get the stripper. Now you can do this however you want with whatever cable you have available. It's not really a big deal, but you want to strip both ends. That's important. And then we look at the lugs in here. Now at the top here, this is going to be difficult to see, so you'll just go by a description. Maybe I should. Number 1 here is the correct one. Not 2, not 3, from the left, okay? So this lug, the leftmost lug, is the correct lug, okay? So what you want to do is you want to just make sure you have enough wire to make a little loop and stick it over it. Maybe use the lack of elasticity in the solid core itself to fix it in position so that it sits as you're soldering it. And now you just want to add solder, and you want to just make a clean, beautiful connection. Now that should look a bit like that. Alright, so that's number 1, and we stick this into one of the holes on the switch. Doesn't matter which one, whichever one feels good for both you and the pedal. And then we add solder to that. Then there's the second one. Now what I like to do is, you want it to be connected to this guy. So on this one you want to have the middle lug, okay? And what I like to do is and this is a bit tricky, instead of the loop, is I just sort of stick it into the same hole and then solder it down. It looks cleaner. That's really all there is to it. And here we go. And stick that into the other hole, and yeah, solder it down. So you want to inspect that it has these are pretty solid lugs on the switch, so you need to give it time to actually cool down before you bend the lead. And yeah, once that's done, you're pretty much done, and all you need to do is add the other pieces back to the puzzle. Stick this guy in here, put on the washer and the nut. You have such strange names for tools in your language. Okay, so this goes back inside here. You should pause this frame. You see there's a little contraption with arrows on one side, and that corresponds with the cutout on the shoe that it mounts into. And here you go. That's it. What we want to do now is add the knobs back. This is the tricky part, lining these guys up. There's a guy, I think it's Pepper's Pedals, who made a kit which you can buy and help you set them. Also, there's a big knob, and this knob goes a bit too far down on the shaft. There's a lot of innuendo in today's video. So you need to lift it up a little bit, and it'll never rotate perfectly. This isn't something that I can do anything about, and it annoys me. But now you know, you're becoming a pedal builder. And that's that. Put on the back lid, and yeah, you're ready to go. Now, let me know in the comments if you want me to add an option where you could buy the kit, maybe with pre-soldered foot switch and the pre-drilled enclosure, or if I should just give you the opportunity to order all the parts for yourself. Now I can certainly do both, and if I end up doing anything, I'll at least do the cheapest route for you, which is just supplying you with the knowledge of how to do this. So this is part 1. Part 2 will be some kind of PDF with a description of how to order the pre-drilled enclosure, how to order the correct parts, and what to do with them. So I think that's that. And yeah, you could do this with Freya too. You could do it with really any pedal, and so maybe we'll do a video where we test out some of the other ones, going through this process, adding the feedback switch. It's an old trick. It's like the simplest little circuit bending trick in the book, really. But I think it's an amazingly wonderful, mysterious little thing to add to your pedal. I think it's a lot of fun, and it brings a smile on everyone's face. So yeah, do subscribe and all of that stuff. Thank you.